All right, guys, how's it going? We're back at it again with the Fiero build. So at this point in time, I got the intake welded up, and I did paint it black because I kind of like that black look. That and my welds are kind of crappy, but is a problem in itself. So at this point, I have it mocked up in the car. I will show you that in a second. Ended up extending it a little bit, looking it down just a little bit lower, and I'm hoping it's gonna fit. So here's a look at it in the car. So that's kind of sort of how it's going to fit. So it does kind of rub a little bit against the filler neck, which I'm not really too worried about. I might put a little bit of a guard on it. But anyways, it sits pretty decent. I think it turned out not bad. The only thing I don't like about it is the placement of the filter. Really good for performance, not necessarily good for if I ever get caught in the rain or anything. I don't ever think it's going to cause me an issue. I'm also going to have a wheel well in there as well, so it's not going to fling dirt on it or anything, so it should be fully covered but have really good airflow. But my problem today is that going to fit? So my issue is that this wheel needs to go in that wheel well, go up and down, and not touch the inner or intake piping. So at this point, I'm going to take the car, put it back on its wheels, drop it down, jounce it a bit, make sure it doesn't hit it. So let's get to that, and maybe a little bit of a show and tell of how the pipe looks, because it looks pretty darn sweet. So here's a show and tell of the pipe, and we'll get back at the car when it's on the ground. All right, guys, so the wheel's on, it's down, it kind of jounced it a bit. That's the fitment I got. Pretty darn tight. But I think we're gonna be good. It's back pretty far. It's, again, I can move it around a bit. A little hard for me to show you here. Let me just toss that light in there. Toss it in the other way, look at that. Whoop. Magnetic. Are they gonna work? What are these Fieros, aluminum or something? There we go. Stay. No. Watch me struggle. Yay, struggles. So, yeah, it's a little moderately blinding. Okay, anyways, so there's my clearance. So what I'd like to do is jounce this. It's a little hard to tell, but back there, maybe I can. I'm gonna throw some light in here. Scooch. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna review that, see how it looks. So after reviewing the footage of me jouncing it up and down and kind of played around with it a little bit as well, kind of moved it around a little bit, which I know I have a fair bit of movement in that flexible pipe. So I'm going to make a little bracket and whatever, but not right now. At this point in time, I'm happy with that. We got tons of clearance. I'm going to put the wheel well. I'm going to cut it out at some point and fit it, and then maybe we'll make a little guard over top of it again and yada yada. So at this point in time, I'm happy with that. I'm done that. Anyways. So I'm going to start on the next part, at least the next part I decided to do, because I think I told you I was going to do the exhaust, but now I'm going to do the intake. I don't know. I've been saying a lot of things. I'm doing the intake. So I have to go to work. I have to bump it up from a 2.5 to a 3-inch. I do have some of this blue coupler stuff. I might take a cut out of it. I know it's blue. I know it doesn't match anything, but at least I'll use it for mock-up, and I can always get another little chunk of black later. So I'm going to make a little pipe. So I'm going to go to the pipe bender and get a piece of 2.5. I'm going to bump it up to a 3-inch. I do realize that my whole intake piping is all 3-inch and it looks cool and I'm badass and stuff. but it does lag a lot. So I'm hoping I might get away with it not lagging too much. I know before it lagged like crazy. So this turbo is going to spool a fair bit. So I'm just going to leave that piping alone, leave it all 3-inch, and I don't think it'll cause me a problem tuning wise or anything, but it just might have a little bit more lag than what this turbo could do. So I'm happy with that. You know, I don't want to redo it. It might be a little laggy. It was super laggy before, like crazy laggy. Like you count to 3 and then it would turn on. So regardless, I'll be happy. Anyways, so I'm gonna go to the shop, but today I'm gonna call it a day, and I'll see you in a second, because video time. Yeah, cool. Alrighty guys, so it's the next day, family day. I decided I'm gonna come in and do some stuff. So at this point, we're gonna build the pipe from the compressor down to the intercooler, which kind of buried in there. I did throw these pipes in here quick. They're just kind of sitting in here, just because I have a bunch of clearance issues. I'm gonna show you what I'm working with here. I got this super awesome mandrel bends from Wish/Chinaland. I don't know if you want to look at it. 304 stainless. They're okay. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, there is a seam in it. If you look really closely, there is the seam. I'm not too concerned because I'm using it for intake piping, not exhaust piping. So the likelihood of this cracking is like nothing. Like there's no likelihood of it cracking. So at this point, I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna be putting this pipe down in here, in this area here. So it's gonna kind of snake down there. If you look, I just gently place it there. So it's gonna kind of snake down there. Maybe I'll pull this out, just at least out of the way. So I don't know if you can see that. Right down in there. So it's gonna end there and it's gonna come out down and through there. So, but before I do anything, I need to get this to have a little bit of an end on it. Like this side needs a little bit of end for the coupler. So it's gonna come out right about like that. So I'm gonna attempt to video me welding this, and I already have a little piece chopped off like that. It's all cleaned up. I just use a little piece of sandpaper and smooth it around, clean it up. Actually moderately trying hard for this, and I'm gonna weld this onto that like that, so I can put a coupler on it and have something to clamp it to. So let's do that. All right, guys, there it is. So she's all finished welded up. Again, welds are not amazing. I was having a little bit of struggles there because turns out my one cullet was all fouled up, and from butcher welding that intake, like a champ, got a little bit fouled up and all screwed up. So I did struggle a little bit, and then I figured it out like right at the end, and well, it was too late. So there it is. That's welded to there. Now I need to figure out the orientation of this so I can weld this to there. And then I also need to put, don't fall. I also need to put a couple little dots here for the coupler. All right, well, let's move on to that, get my orientation, and I'll finish weld this, and I'll start on the other pipe, and then I'll come back to you. Alrighty. So this is how it's looking so far. I got myself a nice little pipe running from here down to here, a little piece of pie, kind of pie mandrel. And if you look very far down in there, if I zoom in for you, nope, wrong way, always doing the wrong way. And then it goes down, so it pipes, it expands up to 3-inch and goes down in. So that's kind of how wild it's looking. A better view of it there. Pretty freaking cool. Now, in classic fashion, let me just trip over everything. I ran out of welding gas. You can still hear the welder cooking. That's also one of the reasons why I was having that dull weld on that first piece I did. So I was running low on gas and wasn't paying attention. So I'm gonna have to go get some more welding gas and finish her on up. So yeah, kind of sort of whatnot and so forth. I say so and whatnots and so forths and a lot. My bad, okay? I'm aware of it, working on it. Okay, off to TIG welding this up. Next time, a little bit later on in the week. Bam! All right. So the pipe is in. I don't know if you guys can see it there. It's all welded up. Let me get a little better angle here. Let me just beep over here. All right, kind of see it sneaking down through there. I could take this pipe out, but I just use it as mock-up. So nothing's hitting. Everything's sweet. Anyways, I've been working on the exhaust, which is right hither. It's supposed to be hither. It's right hither. So this is what I'm working on, but this is what I took out of it. And I already started chip chopping it up. Sorry, the weld is a little bit loud. But man, the welds are really chunky on this thing. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's stainless weld, and I did it like a long time ago, and that's some serious boogers. But I'll tell you what, the boogers never leaked, never cracked, never did anything. Just ugly. So I've decided, I'm kind of like, I was humming and hawing if I was just gonna reattach the turbo to the existing exhaust or anything, but I'm like, man, I just spent all this money on a TIG welder. I'm gonna make a full exhaust for it. So this is the start to it. I'm gonna make the downpipe off the turbo. I'm gonna make it come along, and I might put a catalytic converter in it, and I have the mufflered exhaust tip. So it's gonna be a little bit louder, a little bit more spooly. But that's kind of cool. I mean, I hardly drive this thing, so it's a little loud, whatever. So I will show you that. Show you a couple clips, whatnots, so forth. Getting this exhaust dialed in. I'm going to get this one pipe welded up, and I'll show you there. All right, so here's the pipe welded up. I did get a little bit more done as well because it's a couple days later. I got my bungs kind of put in there. I ended up just like re-welding over top of them. Because they didn't look that great, so I just kind of melted them and schmelted them to look a little bit better. Because this is stainless weld, and I had this stainless welded before. As you can see on the other ones, the stainless weld was looking like, well, like that. Pretty dog crappy, if you know what I mean. So I ended up just going over them for the bungs, and I think they turned out not bad. Just kind of melted them again, made them into kind of something. Doesn't look as bad. Regardless, my TIG welding is getting a tad bit better. What do you think? I don't know. Not too bad. Some dime stacking. It looks okay. It's a little dark there, a little bit of color there, but that's what the pipe looks like. So it's going to come off the turbo, down, out, and so as I was saying before, I was going to maybe put a catalytic converter in this thing, but I decided to spend the monies on one of them there fancy mufflers. As you seen before, I had a really old cherry bomb on it. It was painted black, but it was a cherry bomb nonetheless. but Vibrant sells these. This is a 3-inch, 4-inch radius. What is it? 8 inches long, or no, 12 inches long. Regardless, this is a really, really slick unit. So we're talking stainless welds on it, full stainless body, and you got to watch out. A lot of these cheaper ones won't have stainless welds, and it's even shiny. Let me just get it out of here. Let me skip ahead here. Bam. So that's what she looks like, all shined up, very party-like. As a comparison, that's what the old one looked like. Just an old cherry bomb smashed on there. It was rubbing on the ground a lot. So I am going to be moving this up a little bit in the car. I can show you that in a second, maybe not. Anyways, that's my plan of attack with it. I'm going to have this resonator. I'm going to get the downpipe done, assembled, and then it's going to go to the mufflered exhaust tip. Maybe I'm going to try and use it, but it's kind of mangled. I don't know if I have. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it here. It's pretty bad. Regardless, that's the plan right there. So I'm going to end the video here. So if you guys can like, subscribe, you know, do all that fun stuff or not. If you have any suggestions with this car, I don't really have a goal with it. It's just been my fun car since high school, and I'm excited to finally get it running. I would like to maybe take it on autocross, do a little bit more drag racing with it, but I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of cruising with it. So hope you guys are looking forward to that. Hope you guys are liking the Fiero build. And if you guys can just tell your friends, other Fiero people. I mean, I try to keep the community going. Kind of a niche market, I guess, if you want to call it. Not a lot of Fiero guys out there, but I really like hearing you guys' replies, comments, all that type of stuff. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one.